Hello guys and welcome to another analysis in RunGB's War Thunder plane analysis. Today we are going to be taking a look at a plane that has been requested a ton since a long time ago, the Ta152H-1, which is a level 16 German fighter. This is one of the planes that people request the most, but well, I'm doing this analysis now in historical battles, and this has a problem. This is a level 16 plane, and first of all, it usually gets very long queues, and when you get into battle, there's a strong chance that there are going to be jets in the enemy team. If there are jets in your own team, it's not that big of a problem. The problem starts when the jets in the other team are Sabres or MiG-15s, because then half your team will quit, and you are forced to quit as well. You are forced to, because one of the things of this plane, and one of the things of the German trajectory, is that it has planes at level 15, level 16, while no other nation does. And this is a level 16 plane, and it has a huge repair cost attached to it, which is 48,580 lions, and that's a ton of money. And of course, you don't want to risk that by playing a game with jets where half your team is gone. So I don't fly this plane a lot in historical battles, which is a pity because I love it. It's an amazing plane. Second important thing about this plane is that by now you'll be used to your Dora. If you don't have the D13, and if you do, well, whatever, but there are too many of those in the historical battles scenario, so really don't fly that thing anymore. Just don't. But whatever. You will use to your 190D12 at these states. And this is not a plane that offers better performance. This was historically, and you can see it just by the wings. These are high aspect ratio wings, which are designed to offer very good lift at very high altitudes. This was a specialized high altitude fighter. The Germans got intel on the American B-29 bomber and on their capabilities, and they have to bring something that could fight B-29s at the expected altitudes they would come at, which were in excess of 13,000 feet. In the end, there were no B-29s over Europe, but this plane was designed and developed anyway. It has an amazing engine, but it's tuned for high altitude performance. At low altitudes and in historical battles and in arcade, the most usual fights happen at 5,000 meters or below. This engine didn't offer the better side of it. I mean, it was tuned for altitudes in excess of 7,000 meters. So the lower you go, the better the Doras are in comparison in what regards to performance. They climb much better, they are quite faster at low levels, so and they accelerate better as well at low altitudes. The main thing about this plane is, first of all, it has a huge wing area, which no other Focke-Wulf 190 has. This is probably the best turning plane on the Focke-Wulf 190 family. But doesn't mean you should turn this plane, because you shouldn't. This is a very heavy plane. It weighs in excess of 4,500 kilograms, while the Doras are in the 4,300 kilograms, more or less. This is a very heavy plane, and it has an engine that has worse performance than the Doras at the altitudes you are going to fight in. So what's the big advantage of this plane? Well, it's incredibly aerodynamic, it's heavier than the Dora, and it's got an incredible, and I'm going to tell you this, incredible controllability at high speeds. It's got an insane dive acceleration and absolutely staggering zoom, and it's a boom and thumber's dream. Just as simple as that. Is an energy fighter? Not in the same way as the Dora can be or the 109s. Remember, I make a total distinction between pure energy fighters and boom and thumbers. Boom and thumbers are energy fighters, but I don't qualify them as such. I do another whole different family for them, which are boom and thumbers. This is a boom and thumber plane. A total dream of a boom and thumber plane. It's got it all. It's got speed. I mean, it's not the fastest propeller-driven plane at low altitudes, but it's fast. It's got insane controllability at high speeds. It's got amazing dive and zoom, and it's got the weapons. The weapons in this plane are two Ta152H-1 cannons with a lot of ammunition. It's 175 rounds per gun. It's not as much as in the Doras, but it's still a lot. And an MK108 30mm cannon with 90 rounds, and this is again a lot. This thing one-shots fighters for the most part. These things you don't need a lot of hits to kill a fighter, and with this ammunition you can go versus bombers very well. I mean, they hit very hard. Which ammo do I use for them? Well, I would use stealth, but I still don't have unlocked the 20mm. And honestly, using stealth on the 30mm when you don't have for the 20mm makes no sense. So I'm holding until I have the 20mm stealth, and then I will go for stealth for both. However, look at the ghosts. They are very expensive. In the meantime, I go for air targets and default. There's no real reason in going for Night Fighter's ammunition, because they are tracers, exactly the same way those are. They are just different tracers. They are more visible. So this I never go for. So yeah. I mean, the thing with this plane is that you can't explain it. You have to see it to understand it. This is an incredible plane, both in the defensive and in the offensive. It's got its bad side. And it's got its lower end or bad part of the stick, because it's not as fast as a Dora, doesn't climb as a Dora, doesn't accelerate as a Dora. But once you are at high speed, and once you start boom and thumbing, well, this thing is simply unstoppable. So, well, let's see some action. So we are flying over Berlin, and I'm actually already at altitude. Look at this, I'm at 4,000 meters in excess of that, and I'm still climbing. We see a Yak 3 there, but I don't want to engage yet. I mean, the thing with this plane is that in some ways it's very similar to the American P-51s and P-47s. You want to have the altitude advantage first before engaging. If you don't have it, you don't want to engage. It's as basic as that. I'm spotting more enemies, and yet more enemies, and they are at my altitude. So this wasn't one of those tree-hugging, grass-hopping allied teams. So what I'm going to do is to beat my time. I'm not in a hurry. This is a plane, I told you, in a sense very similar to the American ones, in that you want to have and you need energetic superiority before engaging, because your way of killing enemies is purely by boom and thumb. So what I'm going to do is to level up, accelerate a bit, and see what those LA5s do. The first one is shooting at a high target and is giving me a perfect opportunity to get some shots. I miscalculate my initial there, but in the second I hit with 20mm, had that been 30mm, he'd be dead. I try to follow his move to get another burst on him. He's maneuvering the vertical, he's doing a spiral, I don't know what's a spiral, and I don't want to follow. Because there are higher targets. So what I do to shake them off is just point my nose down. And now look at this. The Spitfire Mark 16 and LA5 behind me. The Spitfire is actually trying to shoot me. But look at this. I'm starting to move 14 at 880 kilometers per hour. There's no other piston engine plane that can do that, unless it's a pure boom and zoom plane as well. The P-51, I think it can follow those speeds, but not that initial dive acceleration. So what I do now is just take my altitude back. Pull out. And just beat my time before coming back. And look at that. I'm coming back at 4,000 meters. And I'm the highest guy around. Not in my team, but the other team doesn't have anyone as high as me. And this is where the fun starts. Labo Spitfire there. Another Spitfire there, LA5. The thing is, the initial, probably the part where this plane is at the worst is in the initial stage of the fight. Why? Because at the initial stage of the fight, if the other team has a clue, it will have climbed, and your energy status are not as high on your side than now. I mean, now everyone's lower than me, so I have the upper hand and I have all the cards. So I'm going to dive towards that LA5. Putting the plane in the proper attitude, but he gets taken out, and instead I see that Yak 3 that is turning in front of me. Short burst, hit, and cooling system is damaged. So again, zoom away, check around before coming back. I don't want to go down on that guy before I have the energy on my set over any other guy around. I see another Yak 3 down there, but it's not worrying me. Wait for a proper angle, dive on the Yak 3. And well, my aim could have been better, more 20mm. I mean, it wasn't 30mm. I can tell you that with the 30 I didn't score, because with the 30mm that guy is insta-dead. So second pass, some hits, so let's go for a third one. He's just trying to run, he's not maneuvering, probably he's damaged or has some controls not all that well, or simply he's just running, praying to God he's moving away, but he's not. I mean, I'm 680 kilometers per hour coming behind him like mad. Now he's starting to maneuver a bit, trying to shake my aim off, but I'm not having none of that. Sadly, well, I don't correct well. This time I go down again, immediately. Spot his maneuver, adjusted for it perfectly. And that's a 30mm. And look at the chat now. This is very funny. Well, Run GB only kills damaged Yaks with no ammo. well, pal, I mean, you are damaged because in the first instance I got you damaged. So, and even if you were damaged, what do you want me to do? Oh, guy, let's go away. You are damaged. Whatever. So, yeah, well, I don't know. Time to zoom away and come back. The problem with this battle is that it developed in something I didn't really like, because the enemy team was all back to base, and I didn't, and I'm not going to strafe guys on the airfield. But they were insisting to fight inside the aircraft, anti-aircraft cover all the time. They weren't trying to move out and climb away. So we had to fight them over the airbase, which is spawn camping. I don't like that, but they didn't do any other thing. So, well, when I move in and climbing, and looking around. Because I know they are all in the airstrip. It's pretty obvious they are not elsewhere, so they must be just there. Looking around. And I start spotting guys on the strip. And I was starting to type guys on the strip, either quit or I'm going to dive on you, but I spot a King Cobra there. So, no need for that. We can fight the King Cobra. He's slightly lower than me, and probably he's slower. In any way, and in any case I have the advantage, and if I don't right now, I will. Because this guy is going to come for a head-on. And I'm not. I don't want to go for head-ons. So I avoid his head-on, and I go in the vertical. He goes for a very high G vertical move, speed test, and I go purely vertical. He's coming up, he's following, he's firing in desperation, trying to get some hits. He breaks away because some other fighters of us is trying to get him. Hammerhead, put my nose down. I mean, that was a perfect drag, but the other guy didn't get him. So I will. He's trying to maneuver, but I got all the cars. I have higher speed, I have the position. I adjust 30 millimeters, and that guy is dead. Zooming away, and then I'm seeing all of them. They are down there. Someone says get the year to a landing, and I'm not, like, no, I don't have a lot of 30 millimeter left, so no. No way. Besides, I don't like to go for landing planes. I will if I don't have other option, but it's not something I really like doing. So what I'm doing right now is to leave them alone for a while, so they can win some speed. At this moment, I was actually thinking on RTBing, because I don't like this kind of no challenge situations. They are much lower than me, but they are the first ones who are not getting out of there, so I have to engage. So I'll do another diving attack, this time on the Yak 90. But I'll switch targets because I see the Yak 90 is giving me a crappy angle. So instead I go for the LA5. 750 kilometers per hour. Not a lot of time to correct for the aim, so instead I zoom away. I'm spotting them. And here I level off the plane, and I actually tell them, guys, get out of there and try to fight. Because what they are doing right now is forcing us to spam camp you, and that's not fun. I mean, it's not fun for you, but it's not fun for us either. But look at that, they are not trying to. They are just simply over the base, turning around in the base, and they are not moving away. So I'm going to come back. Going in the vertical. You can see that even having a huge energy advantage, I'm always moving in the vertical to do reversals, etc. Energy is something you don't want to waste at all in this plane, even while I do a hammerhead. You don't want to waste energy in this plane, even while you have a lot more than the enemy. I mean, just in case, you don't know what's around and what's lurking out of sight range and what can come in a given time. Speedfire going up against the Focus 590. The BF-109 is also diving on him. The Spitfire spots him. He starts turning. That means a bad angle for me, so I'll go up again. And going down on them. LA5 giving me a good angle, Spitfire giving me a good angle as well, and going for the speed. He's standing very close. I killed my throttle to not come too fast. I just follow his maneuver, get a good hit and get out. Meanwhile, the anti-aircraft guns, of course, are doing their job, which is pissing me off. Take a look at what's behind. Anti-aircraft has stopped firing on me because there's a lower guy down there. So I go in the vertical. Hi yo-yo. Level, watching my angles, and watching the guys I want to go for. First target is a Jak 90, but here comes one of our planes. So it's going to be that Spitfire. I just aim for his move, getting good lead, and there he goes. He's dead. That was 20mm, by the way, or maybe a 30. I don't know. I think I don't have any further 30mm, so that was 20mm. LA5 there. Hi yo-yo, coming back. He's got enough troubles on his own, but I'm going to try my luck. But he's dead, and game over. So that was it. I mean, you might think this was like kicking poopies. In a way, it was, but because those guys didn't want to do anything else. So let's look at another battle where things are a little bit different. But first, we are going to look at the scores, which are pretty good, to be honest. 3 kills and a ton of money and XP. So let's see another battle. So, well, in the previous one you saw the Ta152 in the offensive, in the pure offensive, in the ideal scenario for it. Just having a lot of lower targets and just boom and thumbing them to your heart content. But now you are going to see the Dora in a much more defensive situation. And you're also going to see a huge mistake I made in what regards to situational awareness. So there you see a higher 109. The first mistake I made here was to assume everyone was lower already. They were not. Look at that P-47. Being the higher guy is the guy I worry the most. So I'm going to try to go for a head-on without shooting at him, so he goes past me and I can level and walk away, because right now I don't have the energy. But the problem was not the P-47, was the VF-109 who really surprised the hell out of me. He was damned fast, and I totally disqualified him as a probable threat. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm very damaged. So I'm going to use the main asset this plane has, which is its dive. Nothing can follow. Nothing. I'm simply moving away so quickly. I'm already at 750 kilometers per hour. The 109 is trying to follow, but soon he realizes he's not going to catch up. Because it's not just that this plane accelerates a lot in the dive. It's that look at this dive angle and look at how well the speed is kept up. I'm slowing down because of course I'm not diving that steeply anymore. But even without web, I'm doing 740 kilometers per hour and the speed counter is going slowly down. This plane keeps energy like mad, and this is why this plane is better than Ladora. This is why this plane is better than Ladora. It's not as fast, it's not as good climbing or accelerating, but once you get your speed up, it keeps it like there's no tomorrow. Of course, as long as you don't pull a lot of Gs, etc. This is a boom and thumber. This is not one of those planes which keeps a lot of energy in high G's maneuvers. So what I'm going to do here is land. Of course, I simply can't fly with two red wings. So I land, repair, and come up again. Let's come back there then. So repaired and reloaded. Well, reloaded not because I didn't fire a single bullet, which was pretty sad. And there we have the BF-109 that almost killed me before. And you know how I am. If you have seen a lot of my videos, you know that I always have a little feeling of revenge each time I get jumped. That guy really surprised the hell out of me. Which was of course my mistake because I didn't properly check my 6, but whatever, he went for me so I went him. And things don't always look and happen the same way that you want them to. So there's a Yak 3 there, and there's a 109 there. The Yak 3 is coming for me. The 109 is as well. So I'm in a bit of a problem. What the hell do I do? I'm going for the Yak 3 and I'm going to try to extend before going for the other guy. I get some hits. That was a 30mm, by the way. You'll see it later. Critical damage in one hit. But oh crap, he's again in the same spot that where he were before. So again I'm forced to resort to my most effective defensive move, which is pointing my nose down and accelerating like a bat out of hell. And there's no way he's going to catch up. He's trying to shoot me a bit to save me and force me to maneuver, but no way. I'm not having that. 860 kilometers per hour. Now try to match that. Of course he can't. So I'm making totally sure nothing is following me. The 109 is trying, but he's not going to be able to. And once I spot he's already left chasing me, I'm going to zoom away and trade altitude for speed. That's the Yak 3. As you saw, it was not an immediate kill, but it was a maneuver and kill. I mean, just one 30mm, probably he had no wing and no wing controls, and in the end he crashed. So, zooming away before coming back. But that guy is going to get raped. So, well, yeah, there's more into this battle. I actually went against a B-17, which I got an assist from, and that guy is about to get totally destroyed by those guys around him. So there's no actual sense in keeping this up. So instead, what we are going to do is to go directly to results. Well, actually, why not showing how I go versus the B-17? I have dived towards his lower right, left quarter, and I'm about to unleash some firepower on him. I have the wind damaged, so that's hurting my ability to aim properly. I get hit in the engine, so I start losing coolant. But that's the last guy in the enemy team. Once we get rid of him, it's game over. So no sense in coming back to B2 for repairs. Coming back again, short bursts, trying to adjust, some hits, that was a 30mm, more hits and I break away. I don't want the rear cannons of that thing to totally smite me. Someone else gets enough shots on him and he's dead. And that was a battle. Probably this battle really is better at the moment of, and at the point of view of looking at how good this plane is. Because, I mean, those dives, this plane dives so well and zooms so well. It's an incredible plane. By the way, you see the plane, how damaged it is. This was an 11,000 Lion repair, or 1 day and a half repair time for free. This plane is really, really, really expensive. So let's see the results. So, well, that was it. I mean, the thing with this plane is, I told you, it's not the hot rod. the D12 is, and it's got its balancing by this. Is the D12 is 10,000 lion more expensive than the H1, the TA repair costs. So yeah, it's not as good in acceleration or top speed, but this is still a good accelerator. Not the most amazing one in the game, but doesn't accelerate bad and doesn't climb bad. But oh boy, when you start boom and zooming with this thing is fun. The only thing detractive on the farm is that it's very expensive to repair. It's almost 50,000 lions, so that's a lot. And also remember, before you spawn in this plane or before you take off, take a look at the statistics and at the teams. If you spot you have your team quitting because the other guys have a couple of MiG-15s, then you have no other option to quit as well. I mean, this plane is so expensive. Well, hope you enjoyed. Finally is here, the Ta152 analysis. Hope you liked the video. If you did so, give me a thumbs up. Any comment you want to make in the comment section below. And if you haven't done so yet and you want to see more of these videos, subscribe. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and see you later.